You are listening to CrossTalk, a safe place to discuss addiction, recovery, harm reduction, and everything in between. Support for this podcast comes from the Kentucky Opioid Response Effort and Advocates of Recovery. Content and production by the team at Turning Point Recovery Community Center. Now, buckle up and get ready for the show.
Welcome everyone to CrossTalk Recovery, the recovery podcast that supports all forms of recovery. I'm Matt Lewis, and I'm here with
Sam Peterson
and Dylan Rogers.
Welcome, Dylan. I'm glad you came on here, man. We asked Dylan to be on, man, because
he's my sponsee.
Because he's your sponsee,
yeah,
and because he's such a great success story.
Because he's my sponsee.
Recovery. I don't know if that's the reason.
It played a part. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you should have heard how much credit he was taking for things earlier today.
Look, we're not gonna get into all of it there, but yeah. No, for real, Dylan is great. He did all the work, man. I just got to watch the show, and with sponsees, you never know how it's going to go,
Right.
But with Dylan, I will say at the beginning, I was like, "There's no way this dude's going to even make it." I didn't tell him that, but that's what I thought. And he's just keeps surprising me and doing great. So it's awesome.
Well, I mean, Dylan's always had a great attitude and fun, boisterous, likable guy. Cute as a button, but
he's going to take care of me when I get old.
That's the plan.
That's what you told me. Yeah,
that is the plan. Changing diapers.
That's Sam said. I'm not having kids, but I got Dylan.
Yeah, that's
how much I believe in you.
That's what I'm talking about.
No pressure.
That's why I'm doing this. Really, I'm just.
You need to encourage him. If you're going to do that, you need to encourage him to change his diet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be horrible when I get old.
God,
no,
we're gonna put a stop to that.
And Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
This got dark real quick.
Wow.
No, man. But why don't you tell us a little bit that you feel comfortable telling about your story, pathway through addiction and into recovery, and we'll give you a hard time along the way.
That sounds a plan. So pathways. Really, I'm gonna be honest. So I got in trouble. Of course, it always starts with that. And I was sitting in jail. And honestly, from that point on, that wasn't the decision that was made at all. I'm not gonna lie. My thought process is, jailhouse lawyers. They're like, rehab, man. That's what's going to get you out of here. I'm like, yes, okay, whatever it takes. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm willing to get out of jail at this time. I'm not willing to do nothing else besides leave this cell.
You were planning on running, don't lie.
That's the plan. That is the plan. So, so I can talk about Center Point.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I finally get into Center Point. That's my plan. My plan was to run. I've never stayed in a treatment center. That's just not what I do. That's not who I was. I thought, and I get there. Even though my intentions was bad, the feeling was great. All around, that is an amazing building. And I felt the love as soon as I walked in. So I was like, you know what? Whether my decision to stay was there, my decision to stay for a few days to see how this is going to go was there. So
that's good.
Yeah, it was. And so I stayed.
By the way, they can see your foot on camera.
Oh, I was gonna say something.
That thing is going, brother. Look, don't be that nervous. It's all right.
Yeah, you're amongst friends. No one watches this anyway.
Cause we got 100 viewers is our max,
Well, and you say that, and I know it's amongst friends, but okay, so here it is y'all are people I looked up to, and I still do, and it's a big thing to even have me sitting here. Whenever I was asked to come on this show, I was just like, I'm not even going to sit here and lie. I was going to say something pretty like, oh, my God, I can't wait to come. And I was just like, oh, my God, I'm nervous. Anytime I get asked to do anything like this, my first thought is no, because I just have that self-doubt. But it's an honor to even be here, to be honest with you, sitting with you two, people that I looked up to, going through the program. But back to the program, I walked in there.
Yeah, me and him's not going to be able to get out the door. Our heads are going to swell up so big before we leave.
I'm used to it now. I can deflate quickly.
But, and I'm not going to say that. I mean, Sam knows through the program,
Well, I wasn't his sponsor at the beginning either.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm not going to say who my sponsor. I didn't take the program serious. Anybody who knows my story knows that I was getting by. Doing what it takes. I ended up staying. I did everything that it took to get through the program. Homework, continued with the meetings. Tried not to hit the board, of course. And I ended up staying there, but I found Sam after the program.
Yeah.
I was already graduated, and I started, and that's when it hit me. Like,
I think his first impression was probably like everybody else's of me at that time, you know?
Yeah, you're a dick.
Yeah, that's the one.
and that's what it was. and that's what it was. But I was just like,
Well, the fact that you so you graduated and you said you kind of just skated through, but then you realized you really wanted to try and learn something. So, and you saw something in Sam and reached out to him. How it went?
That's how it went. I sat through his classes, the whole program, and was just like, oh my God. But when I
Actually feels so great, you know?
But after my mind cleared, it took me longer for my mind to clear, honestly. But I wanted something different. I was scared to die. I was actually fearful of everything. My idea of fun has changed. My idea of fun when I was going in the program was just walking around with a backpack around town. And I realized that it was so much more fun to have real friends, something I did not have. Kind of people you had to hide your everything from, and you didn't have much. So that's kind of
all the worldly possessions in the backpack, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That story.
Yes, exactly.
Weren't you living in a shed for a period?
I was, and it was a nice shed.
Right? There's different qualities of sheds.
There is. That's true.
It was a nice shed, I thought. That's where how sick my mind was.
He was like, I could do this forever.
This is all mine.
Pull all the stuff out, look at it, make sure it's still there, then put it all back up.
Through the backpack?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Still there.
Still have all my chargers. Just ridiculous.
Oh, I don't miss that.
I don't either. And I'm so glad my ideas of life and meaning and purpose changed through that.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, I was, I'm going to share a little bit about working with Dylan. Like, he asked me, and I was like, really? So we started going back to the steps, like, he come to my house to do them. I'm like, you're a peer mentor. I'm not coming up here to meet you. You're going to have to come to me. And he always showed up. We went through the book.
Yeah.
More so than a lot of guys that I've worked with, he really put in the effort after he graduated the program.
Well, it did help, right, that you still were in drug court after you graduated Centerpoint.
yes, and I was.
So you still had that level of accountability and the opportunity that if you messed up, things are could get bad again real quick.
And I'm so thankful I had that.
Yeah,
that's
right.
probably what pushed me the furthest. And it was constantly my thought process was, hey, do you really want to keep going back to jail? Which was nothing new. I didn't grow up in jail. I'm not going to say that. But I've been enough times where I'm like,
you've grown accustomed to it.
I've grown accustomed
you know how to
it.
function there.
And it's nothing fun about it. But yeah, I met with Sam. He started me out on step one. I was like, dude, I know. I wanted this, but I figured I was past that. And he said
didn't
no.
open up the book, see this blank page. This is how much you know.
That's pretty close.
It was actually really close to that. I was like, at that time I was like, okay, let's do it. He probably knows something more than me. I'm living in a treatment center. I'm not in my own place. I'm a pure mentor. I don't know how I pulled that one off, but I did. And it was honestly, it was a great experience. Probably one of the best, on top of everything I learned out of the book and out of my sponsor. That helped a lot too.
Yeah, you get that first taste of trying to give back and help some guys through the program, and you see how that feels. It's always a good feeling. Yeah, that's what inspired me to move forward from there to work at Turning Point and to continue getting that feeling of trying to help others, and it keeps you sober.
It does, and honestly, I think it's one of the most vital parts. There's a lot that goes into it, but helping others is a very vital part of recovery.
I think it is the vital part.
It is.
I think it says, if you're working an AA program, I think that the book actually says, it is vital.
Yeah. Nothing ensures immunity from another drink. Like intensive work with another alcoholic. Yeah.
It's vital to long-term recovery. I think it's verbatim. I think it's almost pretty close.
Yeah. I did. We did remember something.
Yeah, see?
We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. You want to know something? My biggest issue with meetings is, despite their name, they are never about me. Here at Turning Point, all of our meetings are for you and about you. We have meetings at least 3 times a day, 7 days a week. We are located at 415 Broadway, Paducah, Kentucky. Call 270-444-3621 for more information.
Did you know that recovery from substance use disorder and mental health go hand in hand? That is why the caring and compassionate mental health professionals at Four Rivers Behavioral Health in Paducah are here to help you find your balance. They are proud of you for making the changes necessary to live a healthier life and would love to see you reach your full potential. Give them a call at 270-442-7121 or stop by the downtown location at 425 Broadway in Paducah, Kentucky.
But yeah, that's so. When you left peer mentoring, what'd you end up doing?
Well, we can sugarcoat it a little bit,
Yeah, let's sugarcoat that. I didn't leave peer mentoring pretty, but I did what any peer mentor does: go to Pockets.
Right. Yeah. Started frying some chicken.
Started frying some chicken, and
Playing scratch off.
I didn't do the scratch off. I never won. I ain't gonna say I didn't do them. I just didn't win them, and I'm like,
Yeah, you got to win that one to get you hooked.
Yeah, I didn't get the phenomenon of craving. I didn't win the one.
Yeah,
so
I don't like losing money. So like,
never been a fan of that.
That's for sure. But I still had drug court going on. And everybody knows what drug court is. Court every week, still in classes. I felt like I was in a treatment for years, which I needed it. Not denying that at all. But I was working at Pockets, and at that time I was living in sober living. And I stayed in sober living for about 8 months. And honestly, I don't know when I how long I stayed at Pockets. I mean, it was a few months. Mm-hmm. So, we leading into where are we going?
Hey, man, you keep lead into where you're at now, man.
Okay,
that's the good stuff.
That is the good stuff. So I took a job. I left Pockets to go to Stepworks in Paducah.
All right, what was your position there?
I was a night shift recovery coach.
Okay, which means you watch people sleep.
That's it. That's it.
Glorified babysitter.
That was what I was at that time. It was a great starting position. I'm not gonna.
Right.
It was a great starting position because I needed that. That's what I needed. Honestly, it was a blessing whenever I even got the job. I couldn't believe it. I called Sam immediately. I just couldn't believe that I was even being offered any position at a treatment center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I stayed on nights for a few months. It was about a few months, and I ended up getting on weekend days and really getting into that, doing classes and teaching and helping other addicts. And it is a detox program. It's a 30-day detox center. So I got to see people coming in, man, sick.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's vital to me in my recovery. I need to see that front
Constant
lines.
reminder. Yeah.
Constant reminder. And I have a lot of empathy towards that because it takes me back to where I was at.
Yeah.
So
I always get a little jealous when people detox in a detox facility instead of on the mat and the detox room in jail.
Yeah, it's a rough one. I've done that a couple times.
Yeah, man, it ain't fun.
It is not fun. That's where I did it.
Uh-huh.
It was just disgusting. They only give you one roll of toilet paper, which is not enough.
No, not even close.
It's not enough at all.
One time I did it in it was a cell for guys who were working a program in there, so they were at least like trying to take care of you. You were just I was on a mat on the floor, and these guys are all like they're trying to get their time cut, but they were working a program, an AA program or something inside, and so they would, bring you water or let you use toilet paper or things like that. They were being nice because that was part of the program they were working. But that was the first time. It was just me in a corner. Nobody cared.
The last time I detoxed in jail, the air was out in the hole, so it was like burning up hot, and I was just laying directly on the concrete.
That's a low spot.
Man, that's a low spot.
Sorry, I laughed because it's bad.
That's bad. Like if you watching this podcast and you've not been to jail, touching the floor in any institution like that is not nice. And I was but that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Just dying.
It's horrible. But look at you now,
Yeah.
I think it's a vital part.
It's a good bottom to start,
Yeah. I do feel like that detox and however someone goes through it is a very vital part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so you went from being the night shift guy that was just there to watch people sleep and make sure the building didn't burn down. Then you got a little bit more responsibility.
Yes, I finally went to Monday through Friday. I was a supervisor through Monday through Friday. I know. I'm like, this is God.
But they couldn't find anybody else to.
And that's my thought process. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep saying yes.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to keep saying yes and doing what I have to do. And I did that for the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that was about a year of that, and working side by side, learning. And now I'm the facility administrator of Stepworks in Paducah. I mean, it just kind of all fell in my lap just like that.
Well, I mean, it did, didn't it? Didn't. I know you like to discredit yourself sometimes a little bit, but like you put in work, man. That's I mean.
Well, I mean, you're working at a rehab. You're showing up on time. You're doing the work. You're like showing effort. Like, there's probably the guys that work there that call in. There's probably the people who work there who have relapsed. There's probably, you've been consistent.
All that stuff happens everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's anywhere you go.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, you are right. I mean, I am dependable, but I think that's a thing for recovery for the program that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's a big part is commitment and being dependable. I do.
Yeah.
You need to tell JT about that when you leave. He broke his commitment with us bowling. I'm still working through the resentment.
Not bowling.
Oh yeah,
That's very vital to the recovery.
It was to us,
Oh man,
2 years.
Yeah.
Of bowling meetings.
feelings was hurt.
Yeah, we finally did our bowling podcast, and it's like the worst one. Nobody's watched it.
We joked all the time about how many people wanted to see it, and they proved us wrong.
It's like 20 views.
What was y'all bowling on it? I didn't see it either.
No,
so I'm one of those.
I just found out that Dylan has seen none of the podcast. He's like, "Oh, this is what the podcast room looks like." It's like, "Oh, so we see who's been supporting us."
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start watching them now. I feel like
because you're on them.
Yeah, I feel like yeah. So
well, you'll at least watch this one.
Yeah.
I will watch this one because I just want to see how it is. So
right, but so so you started Peer Mentor, working at Pockets, which is nothing wrong with working in a gas station. But fried chicken,
I loved it.
Ended up getting a job in recovery and went from the night shift guy to the program administrator is your title now?
Program administrator.
It's a little mouthful,
It's I'm telling you, it's a blessing, and honestly, I wouldn't want to work for another company. To be honest with you, man, it's family owned. There's some amazing people.
Man, we refer people to Stepworks.
Oh yeah,
y'all definitely.
And we
do.
know a lot of the people that work over there are guys we all went through Centerpoint with. We love that, and that's why I wanted to have y'all, man, because it's so cool to see a brother who's come so far,
right.
and there's to where you are today and helping people, and now you're in a position to do even more. I mean, it's so cool.
And just think how many people, like you come in and you said you looked up to me and Matt,
Yeah.
That's why you were nervous. Just think how many people are doing that to you, brother.
It's hard to believe.
But like this. Well, we understand how you feel because when people say this, we're like, what?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Why?
Why?
Right.
Yeah. But man, it's awesome.
It is awesome. It's still, it's still unbelievable to me. But it's an honor,
Right.
and I'm taking it and I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just still hard to believe.
Well, I appreciate you, like you talked about earlier. You still have that self-doubt, and I appreciate that you are facing it by like coming on here. Like that's exactly like the program I work is. I get excited now when I get that anxiety or fear because I know that I'm going to face it. I'm going to grow through it, and we all still struggle with that. Like I think it's important to be humble, but you can go too far with that to self-doubt and like I'm not worthy and all that. So like I get those feelings, but you're facing them. You showed up, and you're still doing the work out there. You're not letting it hinder you from what you're doing, because that's important for people to know. Like we're still going to have these feelings that, because we know where we've been and even how far we've come. I always used to think like, whenever good things were happening, I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know what I mean? Like, when is this all going to go bad? And
like it's going to it has to, because it always has before.
Right. It's never gone consistently good for, like, especially if it went really good for a while. I was like, oh, this is going to be really
so bad.
Bad is definitely coming, But,
yeah.
I know. I mean,
We'll be right back.
Hey y'all, did you know it's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland because they get lonely? Here at Turning Point, we don't want you to ever be lonely either. That's why we're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Always feel free to come hang with our friendly staff, and don't forget your guinea pig. We're located at 415 Broadway Street, downtown Paducah.
One thing I have always wondered is who put the alphabet in alphabetical order. At Turning Point, our goal is to help you put your life back in order. If you struggle or have struggled with substance use disorder and are in need of help, come see us at 415 Broadway Street, Paducah, Kentucky, or call 270-444-3621 and sign up for peer support services with one of our friendly staff who have lived experience with addiction. Hope to see you soon.
what Dylan told me, he called me because he calls me all the time. Like, it's one of my few sponsees that's been sober as long as, or in recovery as long as he has.
Oh, so not many of your sponsees stay sober? Is that what you're saying?
No, they just don't call me.
Yeah, I'm definitely calling.
And he's like, I don't know, man, it's a big step up. And I was like, bro, you got this. Yeah. The reason they want you is because you put in the work.
Yes, I definitely talked it over with my sponsor before I even said yes, to be honest with you. I was just, because it was still unreal that they was even asking me to do something like that. And it's an honor.
I know, and I knew, for me, because he's moved so far up, it's like steak dinner time, for sponsor.
Yeah.
I got to pay him.
He's no longer free sponsorship.
Program managers and stuff, they got to pay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Those are all jokes, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not paying him.
But, so how long have you been doing that now?
I've been only doing that for about 2 months now. It's been about 2 months. But honestly, it's going well.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I waited a little while to ask you to be on the podcast to make sure you weren't going to...
Yeah, back out. Yeah. Run from it. Yeah. I get it. I definitely do.
No, man.
Joking.
Just joking.
But yeah.
So how many kids you got?
I got, yeah, right. Oh, I did want to add this in before I start talking about the kids. I did graduate drug court. I should have added that in.
Yeah.
I graduated that.
With honors?
With about as honor as you can get, But yes, I graduated that about last year. I feel like it was last year.
What is it, Sigma Cum Laude? Or what?
I definitely had honors. It took me a little longer than
That's
everybody.
where I was leading to. How long? It's a 2-year program. How long did it take you?
It took almost 3. And some of the best times of my
Oh,
life.
it takes what it takes.
It takes what it takes, They just love me. That's why they kept me around. Right. But, and also I didn't have, I'm glad you brought up the kids because I had those taken from me in addiction. Mm-hmm. That was something, hell, even whenever I was in treatment, I didn't get to see my kids the whole time I was in there. Honestly, I don't think I started getting visitations with them towards my end of my Pockets day. So I was already graduated. I did Pure Mint tour. I was working at Pockets, and another blessing came, and I know what it was. They wanted to see the proof that I wasn't going to do exactly what I always do, you know, because it wasn't nothing for me to go back, and I know that. But I also knew that this was the time that I was done. I knew I was done. I was miserable, and but I started getting weekend visitations on Saturdays. And honestly, I think that's another thing with my commitments and staying dependable. I would be there when I said I was going to be there, and I think that was the biggest part. I do now. I have full custody of my kids, all 3 of them. I got them full time, actually. It's a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
With the mother.
I'm with the mother now.
Let me help you out here in case she watches.
Yeah, might as well. And I'm with the mother now, which, you know, would have never in 100 years thought that. Yeah. But honestly, I get why we got the divorce. I mean, why would you want to stay with someone that just wasn't there at all? I was in trap house to trap house. I was never home. And I understand that, and I take full responsibility for my actions, you know. And but we got back together, and we're in a better spot than we ever have been in my life.
It's awesome.
All 3 of our kids are with us together, and we're really just doing it, you know. And I don't live in sober living no more. I got my own house.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can see it. I can see it.
See, man, life's pretty good, isn't it?
Life is pretty good. You know?
You just now.
Now you just realize why we ask you on, you know?
Well, knowing
I'm doing pretty good.
well, that's how I feel, you know, because usually I just don't sit around and boost my own ego. I'm not like,
well, that's good.
That's a good thing.
But now that y'all are sitting here pointing it out, I guess life is pretty amazing, you know. I went for years riding a bicycle or walking around town. I got my own car now, house.
Hey, man, as much as we may have been an inspiration to you, you're an inspiration to us now, too, man. That's the way this thing works, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super proud of how far you come, man. Because to be honest, dude, I didn't have a lot of hope for you for a long time. And I loved you, and I thought you were funny, but I was like, you know, I don't know. But, like, it's just every time you prove me wrong, and everyone else wrong, and I'm super proud and impressed, and I look up to you now, too. So maybe one day we can go get jobs.
Yeah.
You know, when he's running the whole company over there.
Right.
Golly. Yeah. But yeah, I could see why. I mean, I didn't take nothing serious, which I never have in my life. Everything was a joke.
Right.
Like it was some kind of game, and people are dying. It's not a game, and I got to see that firsthand, you know.
I think when you work like I like to say, when you work in the trenches, you know, like you're seeing people coming into detox. We see people come in, we send them to detox. When you're on that front line working, seeing addiction every day, it's definitely a motivator to stay in recovery for me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because and especially with what's in the drugs nowadays, it's just so scary.
It keeps it real, and it can be very dark, but I think that also is important that to have these times where we can laugh and have that attitude. You've always had a positive, fun attitude, but now you know when to be serious and when to reel it, you know, when you can laugh and joke. And I think that's a big part of it. Like, not everything is a joke, but a lot of things you can laugh about.
Yeah, and you know, I wouldn't like to. I love to laugh, you know. I mean, if I can,
I do too.
Yeah, and if I can't, then
like smile, like to laugh, like to have a good time, man. Because that's stuff we used to not do.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for many years,
and yeah,
you know, sometimes you have sponsees, and then you've got special sponsees too that become your friends. And I have quite a few of those now. But you know, Dylan's definitely one. He's my buddy more than my sponsee nowadays. It seems like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I even get to bounce some
take
stuff
care
off
of you,
him.
he's going to take care of you in your old age.
Yeah, diapers and all.
Diapers, yeah. Bathe me, all that stuff. Made the full commitment.
I can't wait.
Like you see.
See, that's the sick part. Hey, he can't wait.
Well, you know, he's like, yeah, adopted son now.
Yeah, and I would have never thought he'd be bouncing stuff off me. Like, never in my life. But, you know, that's the joys of recovery. You know, we bounce stuff off each other. We get different ideas. And
Yeah.
And if I need somebody to co-sign something,
yeah.
I'm there too.
Yeah. I know that.
I'm for that too.
Yeah, I tell the guys I do peer support with, I mean, like, you may be here to do peer support with me, but I consider everybody else that I do peer support with up here someone who's in recovery, who's trying to improve themselves. Like, I'm not any better or know any more. All I've done is apply this a little bit longer, and, you know. So I bounce stuff off, you know, the new guy just as much as I do Sam or anybody else. So I think that's important. We can always remain, you know, teachable no matter what.
Matt's definitely my closed mouth friend most of the time.
That's nice. You got to have them.
Oh, yeah.
Got to.
I can't wait to do the open mouth podcast though, where
Well,
I expose everything.
Let's not do that. You know?
Oh, wow.
I like my job, you know, my life.
Oh, wow.
No, but I mean, yeah, dude, you're doing such a great job.
Yeah, man,
dude.
you're awesome.
And I think y'all are
We're
too.
proud of you. Like, for real. We're, like, for real proud of you.
I can't believe it still. I just feel like y'all was working at Turning Point when I first started getting sober. I felt like I grew up there. I came in I came in
You kind of did, bro.
I kind of did. I mean, I remember having to stop me in meetings like, hey, man, this is not what this is about. I'm like, but I'm just talking. But no, that's not what we're doing here, you know? So.
What is it we share in meetings? You remember?
Experience, strength, and hope.
That's right.
That's it.
You did teach him.
Yeah, definitely taught me that. That is for sure. And I took that with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, oversharing can get you in trouble sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell him, it's like, look, in the meetings, experience, strength, and hope. Everything else, you bring to me.
Yeah.
And he actually listened.
That's the thing is getting suggestions and actually taking them.
Right.
That
Yeah,
was my
that's
biggest
huge.
problem. That was my biggest problem. You know, with some people, you just take you get suggestions and you take some and you leave some, but. With Sam, I was like, I probably need to listen to this guy. You know, he might be on to something. You know, have things going in my life, and I didn't have them before. So let's try to.
Yeah.
I think some of it was just, you know, that getting to know each other phase when he asked me and we sit down. And
It's an important part of the sponsor relationship, man, is really like starting to build that trust. And
I
then
told
it
him-
becomes more of a friendship.
yeah, and then I told him he realized how sick I was before.
Well, that's how we started becoming friends. I was like, oh, he's really sick. Yeah.
Which caused me to open up more,
Yeah.
you know?
I was
Yeah.
just better at hiding it than he was.
Definitely.
So that's really what you taught him. Here's how to hide it all.
No, it's like, look, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, this is the appropriate time, and there's not an appropriate time,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is vital, you know?
It is vital.
It's vital. Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah. This is a good one.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming on.
Was
brother.
it a good one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's really
Awesome.
good.
Hey,
So-
look, you're a lot more relaxed now.
I know. Look, we're finally cutting off, and I'm like, oh, I'm just now getting settled in, you know what I mean?
Let's go again.
No, but it was really honored to be here. Like I said, I look up to both of y'all. I grew up here, and I would have never thought that I'd be sitting right here with you two. So it's a real honor.
It's awesome.
Gratuitous plug, Step Works,
Yeah.
30-day treatment center, detox center.
The only detox center from 80 miles around.
There you go.
And so
Paducah, Kentucky.
Paducah, Kentucky.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, check us out on YouTube or listen to our audio versions on Apple, Google, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music. And as always, stay grateful.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction or in recovery and needs guidance, speak with Turning Point's team of peer support specialists by calling 270-444-3621. You are not alone, and we are proof that recovery is possible.